how are we all? My name is Lucy and this is my channel, The Sewing Gardener. As always, very big welcome back if you've been before, and a very big welcome to you if you are new here. If you are new, this is my YouTube channel where I predominantly talk about all things sewing, which includes quilting, and there is usually, and I think there will be today, a little bit of gardening content included, but I always put the gardening content at the end. Very occasionally I'll put it in if I think it's relevant during the actual vlog, but usually I put it at the end. So if that's not for you, that's absolutely fine. You can just switch off there. I want to say a huge thank you and a massive welcome to all of my new subscribers. I was around 700 and something for quite a long time, and now I am just 2 away from hitting the 1,000 mark. So thank you all so very much, and do comment on my vlogs. I do like to hear what everybody else is up to, what you're doing, your plans, your makes, so all of that sort of stuff, and I do try and reply as well frequently, shall we say. But I've been a bit away, a little bit. We've been away on holiday, which sounds very extravagant considering I no longer have a job, but it was all booked and paid for last year. Basically, we've been on a cruise with my parents. They are both in their mid-80s. They wanted a holiday, didn't want to go alone. So my husband and I said we'd go along. And when it was talked about in October last year, obviously, since then, a lot has changed. And I didn't want to go before it got too hot, because obviously, if you know about So Skin Summer, you will know that I've had experience with skin cancer, and I don't like being abroad when it's very, very hot. Like mid-summer months, I much prefer to go April, May, September, October. But my parents wanted to go early, so we decided on May, which in hindsight was not the best planning, considering I'm doing So Skin Summer. But the fact that it was the first 2 weeks of May and not the last 2 weeks was all good. It was just highly annoying. If you've ever been on a cruise, well, the cruise we were on, your Wi-Fi is not included. So whilst my phone provider gives me 4G, not on maritime. So when you're out at sea, you're on maritime. But thankfully the cruise we were on, it was northern France, Spain and Portugal. We didn't have that many sea days, so I was able to keep up with So Skin Summer as much as I could, but that is why on Instagram this week the roundup of weekly makes and vlogs was a little bit delayed. And on that, I would like to say a huge thank you to all of the vloggers that have taken part in the vlogger tour so far. There is a link. I will try and link it in here. I have no idea how you do that, so if somebody can give me a tip, now I put it on my screen now, I will, or if I figure it out by the time I've edited this, it might be on there. But if I haven't and it's in the description box, if somebody tells me how you get it so it comes up here, that would be amazing too, because I'm still learning all things YouTube. So today I thought I would come on and share a couple of makes that I've made prior to my holiday, and things that have come into my sewing room as well. It seems very extravagant, but these were pre-orders before. Well, the one lot, which is here, was not a pre-order, but I did use my last wages. I thought, well, when I got paid for my last wages, I thought I will spend some of it on this and it'll keep me busy. So that's that reason. But the other bits, some of it was a pre-order and some of it I couldn't not take the opportunity of getting. But prior to that, I do have a confession from my last vlog. I yabbered on about the Oxbow tote, and the very lovely Lynn from So Lindy Lou contacted me and said she was going to make the Oxbow tote and by Noodlehead, and did we want to do a collaboration. And it was coinciding with when I was going to go on holiday, and I said, whilst I'd love to, I don't think I will have the time. So I dug out my pattern. I don't even have the Oxbow tote Noodlehead pattern. I have the Pepin tote. So even if I wasn't going away, I wouldn't be able to do the collaboration. So I will be making the Pepin tote at some point, not the Oxbow tote. So I wanted to clear that up. And the other thing I wanted to clear up, oh, my glasses have just fallen on the floor, pick those up, was that I said that the So Obsessed subscription box by the lovely Fabric Obsession. Ladies from the Fabric Obsession would be my last box. It wasn't. I didn't actually cancel my subscription. I cancelled on the website, and it actually, sometimes things happen for a reason, and I'm really pleased that this happened. I actually just cancelled a membership to their something, not the actual subscription. So I got an email to say, so we'd had a problem with my credit card online, so I had to order a new credit card, and of course everything then that was linked to that card, none of the payments have gone through. I got an email notification to say your payment couldn't go through, and I thought, well, no, because I've cancelled my subscription. And then I got another one, and I thought, oh, that's a bit weird. So I went in and had a look, and that's where I realised I hadn't cancelled the subscription. So I have got the box, which I'm going to share, but it's my birthday next month, and also I've told the girl I have cancelled my subscription. Actually, somebody's offered to buy it me, and family member has offered to get it me for my birthday, so that's all good too. So I can resubscribe for a couple of months, and I found some Christmas money that I'd forgotten I had, so I think I might just put it towards that anyway. So I think I'm just going to let it roll. Because I like it. If you know me, I love a subscription box, and for many years I subscribed to the Fabric Godmother, and I only cancelled that when I did the last Sew Standing last year. But yeah, I'm a sucker for a subscription box, and I really like this one, so I'm going to keep it for the time being. So I need to resubscribe for June. So I just wanted to clear that up. So let's do makes first. So I might have been my previous vlog, I mentioned that the lovely Lisbeth from Tuesday Child Fabrics and Lisbeth Makes over on Instagram was running a challenge raising awareness for ME, and I did, when I was in the NHS, I worked very closely with the service leads locally, and actually Lisbeth lives in the adjoining county to me, so she would benefit from that because we have made the pathway and access into the service a lot easier. So it was a thing close to my heart anyway, and I've met Lisbeth a couple of times, and she's very lovely, and I wanted to support her because it's really hard starting a challenge over on Instagram, and you always worry people aren't going to enter. And so yes, anyway, I promoted it, and I made the Friday Pattern Company Canyon dress in this gorgeous blue and red fabric that I have had in my stash since 2023, I want to say, because I bought this at the Stitch Festival. I'm pretty sure I bought it from Pigeon Wishes, but I can't remember. I know I was chatting with the lovely Northern Soul sisters at the time, and then this was on the side, and it is a lovely cream. I can't describe it. It is the most beautiful cotton. It's got almost a silky effect to it. And it was the end of a bolt, so it was cheap. They'd reduced the price. I can't remember how much it was, but when they unrolled the bolt, it was partly joined, and there was also water damage on it. So I got this. I had nearly 4 meters. You couldn't use the full 4 meters for a really good price. I can't remember what it was, but I think it might have been something like £4 a meter, something like that. And it is the nicest fabric. If you look really closely, you can see that there are probably, some of it's a different colour, like the bottom tier is slightly different colour to the other bits. Some bits are darker than others, but actually the way it's worked out, like this yoke is slightly lighter than this bit is slightly lighter, but it actually all works really well. That was not intentional. It was a completely unintentional part on the make. I just cut it out. But yeah, I've made this. Now, what I will say is I read the finished garment measurements, and it put me in something like a 4 to a 6 or 6 to 8. I've never been that in my life. Now, I did follow that when I cut out the Closet Core Nick's dress. I think it was a size 4, which worried me intensely because I very rarely, never say never, very rarely toile anything. So I just cut straight as. But I didn't on this. But a happy accident. So I cut out a large. Now the shoulders fit me absolutely perfectly. And the reason I cut out a large is because I also made the blouse, which I'll share in a minute. And I've made that in a large, and it's exactly how I wanted it. But the dress is a different matter, because when I made it, I lengthened the bodice. I think I probably lengthened it a tad too much. and I sewed it all together. It was huge on me, and the elastic would bring it in, but because it was so much fabric, this had a sort of billowing effect. So it would sort of like puff, this would all puff out, the back wouldn't sit flat, it was all sort of ruffled. It just didn't look very well. So I ended up taking out, so I took out from, I went from the under the seam in the armpit and took out about a minimum of 4 centimetres each side. So I just sewed straight down, but then of course that meant that I had to alter the waist because I'd sewn everything up, hadn't I? I hadn't tried it on or done anything, so I had to alter the waist and alter the pockets slightly as well. So next time when I'm making the dress, I will definitely grade in on the waist, and then from the waist pieces grade out. But yeah, but other than that, I love this dress. I put a couple of pictures of me wearing it on holiday, and my mum said I look nice. Everybody I saw said I look really nice in it. So I'm a big blue person, love blue. So yeah, I think this is going to get an inordinate amount of wear, and it's a great dress, so highly recommend. And the blouse is equally as great. Now I made the blouse in this beautiful, it's got sort of, it's plain white, but it's got like these pinstripes, you can see, sort of embroidered, they're not embroidered, embossed details, I suppose you'd say, don't know how you'd say that, but stripes, but very subtle. And I made a large, this is a straight large. I would have lengthened the sleeves probably by 1 inch and a bit, just so that they're long enough for me. And this also got worn several times on holiday. The weather, checked the weather before we went, and because it was northern France and Spain, it's very similar to here, or should have been, but as I understand, you had much worse weather than we did, and our weather was much better than expected, so I didn't take loads of summery things, and I wanted this just as a long sleeve blouse that you could wear on a day out, or as it was, I wore it on a sea days on the deck and things like that, because the shade was very difficult to come by, and it was incredibly cold on deck if you did sit in the shade. So it's very hard balance, isn't it? But armed with my numerous bottles of sun cream, I was fine. So yeah, I will be making more of these as well, because it's just so versatile and you can just pop it on. And the other thing that I made, which was by far the best thing I have made and was used every single day of my holiday, is, oh, it's still got stuff in it, my bestie bag. So this, I made this. This is remnants from my Blanca flight suit. This is saguaro pants, both of which were worn on holiday. So when I matched when I wore this, and I used this lovely blue strap webbing that I had in my stash too. And these slide clips were from a old weekend bag that I had from Marks and Spencer's many years ago. I think I've still got the strap in the drawer. So it's from these, and you can see that all the pleather, faux leather, is all, ugh, it's horrid. But I kept them, and I didn't have one of the slide bars, so robbed it from this to make. So my strap is, I've done it so it's on the bestie bag. If you've made the bestie bag, you either have a hanging bit of a strap or a tie strap, but I didn't want that. I have made it for a friend and left it loose because I didn't know how long she'd want it. I wanted mine enclosed, so that's what I've done with that. But inside, I don't know what I've got in here. Oh, money, some Imodium, you know, holiday things, some cream, chewing gums, hand sanitizer. I also lined it with the fabric of my dress. So this has used up remnants. It is the medium version. I took it as I say, it came on deck with me, it went out, it went to every single destination because it held in my sun cream, my sunglasses, my sun hat. If it got warm, because I lay it up and I feel the cold, I'd always take a cardigan or a fleece. It would hold that. And you'd still have room for other stuff. So highly, highly recommend that. And the other best thing about it is when you put it on and I zip it up, the zip is here. So there. So on some of the ports it says beware pickpockets and things, and if you have a rucksack or anything like that, you've always got bits on the back. So this, very secure because the zip was there rather than there. So if somebody had tried to pickpocket it, I would think well, I'd like to think that I would have noticed, but who knows? They are very, very apt, or whatever the word is. But anywho, I digress. But yes, love it. Absolutely love it. And we'll be making more, and it was a great scrap buster as well. So they're the 3 things that I've made. Oh, I haven't told you what I'm wearing. This is a Zadie jumpsuit in a linen called Leopard Love, I think, that I got from Minerva many years ago. When I ordered it, because I'm a Minerva brand ambassador, I thought it was red. I thought I was getting red, and then orange came. I was a bit like, oh, not sure orange is my colour, but actually I really love it. So again, that was a happy accident. So yeah, this is, but this one, when I cut it out, because I don't trace my patterns, I don't have enough. I had, when I started sewing, used to trace, do not now. Time is too short for that. But I cut out I might have said about this before, so I cut out the 12 on the back, thought I'd cut out the 12 on the front, but they wouldn't match up. You know, when you come to do your crotch seams, they wouldn't match up, and it was because I'd cut out a size 22, I think, for the front and then the back. So I do have quite a bit of fabric here because I've managed to marry it up, and it's quite low, but I've made another one since and I rectified that. So thankfully, when I cut out a paper pattern, I always keep the pieces just to check in case I need to sellotape more on, in case I've cut out the wrong size or something, and I had done with that. So I've managed to sellotape it and amend. So, but yes, this is the Zadie jumpsuit by Paper Theory, and I made it a few years ago, and it's had loads of wear, and it's great because it's sunny here today. It's Friday, 22nd May. I think it's the 22nd. And yeah, it's sunny, and it's going to get even hotter. So on that note, make sure you do wear your sun cream. And I'm still on my squeaky chair. Sorry about that. Oh, I have made one other thing. For Sew Skin Summer, I mentioned that there was a free hat pattern on Closet Core. Hats are not my forte. I made my husband one for Christmas, and it fits him perfectly. It was really good, but then he kept saying it was too big, but it was the fabric. So I made it in a tweed, and the weave kept stretching, so every time he put it on it would stretch. So I've made it smaller and smaller. So then I made him another one for his birthday in the smaller size, because I thought, even though I'd measured his head, I thought it was me making the wrong size, and I've made it too small. So this is his hat, and it also looks like a bit like a scout hat. So this was the hat. I can't even get that on. So that's what I made him for his birthday, which still needs very much amending. But I made myself the hat, and I've shown my daughters. And the one daughter was very kind and said she really liked it, and the other one said, well, she didn't need to say anything. She died with mirth. It's a cross between a lampshade. It's reversible, and I've used buckram in it. But I used buckram in this peak cup, and it's quite a stiff buckram. So I've made this. So there we go. But look, I mean, somebody said, my husband said I look like Keith Lemon, because it's just way too big. So I don't quite know what I've done. So even if I pull it right down, which then is completely impractical, and it's no better if I put it on the reverse. See, I don't know what I've done here, but it's fine for the garden. And actually, but it's a bit stiff. If you're going to use buckram, get a softer one, because this one is a bit stiff. And now I've messed my hair up. So yeah, that's a Sew Skin Summer make, which was a fail. So what has come into my sewing room? Excuse me while I just reorganise my hair. The lovely Jenny Stitches, you may have seen on Instagram and over on YouTube, is made the decision to Shut Up Shop, and she had a sale on. So I went over there and had a look at what she had. Not that I need any more fabric, but you know. And I got a couple of things. So firstly, I got a pattern. I wanted this pattern. So a couple of people made this with the Sew Skin summer entries last year, and they were really lovely. One of the ladies, I can remember it, made it with a white cotton with embroidered cherries on it. I think it was white cotton anyway, but it was really lovely. And it's the Botano button up top by Friday Pattern Company. So that was on offer, so obviously in the sale. So I took advantage and got that. And it's got, I'm not so sure about the necktie. If I had, the light was reflecting. But I do like the line drawings. I do like the actual general shirt. So I will try and make one of those soon. I just got some black cotton poplin because I don't have enough plains in my life. And the reason I got that, the lovely embroidered fabric, which I've shown on my last vlog, or one of my previous vlogs that I got from Sister Mintaka, I thought I might do a bodice with a skirt, and therefore I was going to thought I might do a black bodice, but if not, I was going to make a top with that. And then I was making my children pyjamas. I say my children, my adult daughter's pyjamas for Christmas, and she had this on there. Is that upside down? Yes, it is. It is little cats in stockings, and my middle daughter loves cats. No, my youngest daughter loves cats. So I thought that was great, and I took advantage of that, and I think I got whatever she had left in that. So that's destined to be pyjamas. Girls, if you're watching, you'll have to put that out of your mind. Then I got, you know that I am a big Art East quilting fan. I haven't got my quilt blocks to show you. I have cut out Wendy, and I do need to get her sewn up before the end of May, but I haven't done her yet. I showed you Peter last time. Wendy's next. But Art East brought out a selection of patterns in the spring, and well, unusually for me, I loved them all. It's just, I needed them in my life. So the first one is, and it's because we do have a couple of these mantle dogs. My mum gave us a couple for the China mantle dogs for Christmas. Well, gave my husband for Christmas a couple of years ago, and they're in our dining room. So is the mantle dogs quilt. Now I got the patterns actually from Adam Sews, so support small people. Adam stocks these patterns, so I actually got the patterns from him, but I took advantage, and the kits were really reasonable on Art East actually, and I have got a custom kit for the mantle dogs quilt, and see, you've got a sticker, and the quilt is very similar to that actually that I'm going to make, but it was in, sorry for the rustling, these gorgeous Tula Pink. So it's a Tula Pink custom made quilt. So I took advantage of that. Yes, this was bought with my wages from my last lot of wages. Then the other quilt that I really liked is Night Flutter. So again, it's this one, and I've got the kit. See, John was very good doing the kits. I mean, I've probably got enough fabric to make quilts, but then the backing and everything. So I've got, it is that one that I've got, that kit. And in this one, you got a sticker, a nice holographic sticker. And again, the fabrics, I'm not going to get that out, but yeah, it's basically enough fabric to make that on the front. And then the final one was the, it was made in conjunction with Gnome Angel, and it's the 9-patch garden quilt pattern. So it's this, and I just loved this. I can't wait to get started on that. And there were different colourways. I really struggled to choose between the blue and the white, and the one that I've got, which is pink and orange. So they're going to keep me busy. I don't know when, I mean, you know, once you get into it, but my list is ever growing at the moment. I think summer's not an awful time, it's a lovely time, but there are so many patterns and you see so many things and there's so much you want to make that my list just gets longer and longer and longer and longer. And talking of makes, I am going to be making the Trini, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last one, but the Trini woven dress by Style Arc. That is going to be my Sew Skin summer make. I've taken advantage of the lovely people at Style Arc very kindly gifted me this pattern actually, and then they've supplied you guys with supplied me with a discount code, but I think it expires on the 24th. So do head over to Instagram and I'll put it in the link below or on the screen what the discount code is, but you be quick because we had lots of Style Arc. I had lots of Style Arc entries last year, which included the Hope dress, and there were a couple of others as well actually, which I thought I'd written down, but they're not there now. So but yeah, if you want to do that, and I said I might if anybody else has got the Trini, we could do not a sew along, but yeah, sew it together, if you know what I mean. And then the other thing that's come into my sewing room is the wonderful Fabric Obsession box. It was a very small box this month, so I was very intrigued. And inside, already eaten the treat, there was some lavender shortbread. I was up here yesterday, and yeah, I've eaten it. It was 2 pieces of lavender shortbread, and I hadn't intended to eat both, but I did. So that's that. I've got a little notebook. We got some shearing elastic, some thread, so you can see what colour, matching thread, so you can see what colour my fabric is. I always get the cool colourway, and a fabulous pencil, which is from Portugal. I've just been to Portugal, so that's nice. But the fabric is to die for, and I wanted to film this vlog yesterday, but didn't for various reasons, and I need to get this in the washing machine because I want to make my Trini dress potentially out of this. It is this most gorgeous blue fabric which has got paisley on it, but it's got this gorgeous gold lurex running through it. It is absolutely divine. I love it. I cannot tell you how much I love it. And I won't say, but if you follow the lovely girls from the Fabric Obsession, Bex and Adele, mentioned Sew Skin Summer in their magazine, and yeah, I won't spoil it. They haven't posted their makes and things, but yeah, I'll leave that. But a huge shout out to them. Thank you so much. It made me well up. I was a bit overwhelmed when I read that. So yeah, can't thank them enough for that, for supporting the challenge in the way that they have, and everything they wrote about it. It was lovely. So thank you girls very much. And the fabric I absolutely love. So this is going in the washing machine right after I finish this. And I think that's all of everything I was going to share with you. I finished my vlog, but I'm inserting this because whilst I was watching it back to edit, I mentioned that I'd pre-ordered something and I forgot to share that, so I'm going to share that now. This was ordered back in December, I want to say, and I solely blame Adam Sews for this. He is such an enabler, and I love Tula Pink. And their floral reef collection was just one that I couldn't resist, so I ordered it. I pre-ordered it, and here it is. Here it is. I'm not going to show you them all. Well, I'll show you them all like this. Look at these, they're so glorious. But this is the full collection. I think I got a metre of each, I want to say. But yeah, I won't be pre-ordering anymore because times have changed. But I'll just show you my favourites. So as I said earlier, I love blue. This shell on this blue is absolutely glorious. And there is, I was showing my daughter last night on FaceTime, well, WhatsApp thing, and she was like, Mum, have you not got enough fabric? And I'm like, yes, I do, but this is just, you know, nice. And then I showed her them and she went, oh yeah, actually these are quite nice. This one I absolutely love. Love the colours in this, love the seahorse. That is a super duper one. And then the other one that I really quite like, there's so many lovely ones, can't find it, quick, is this one. It's got sharks on it. I love that. And this one comes in several colourways. So it's got this one, that colourway, it comes in a greeny colourway, and I think there's a third one which I can't, oh yes, pink. Really love the pink. Actually, I think that was more my favourite than the first one I showed you. So yeah, I just wanted to interrupt my own vlog and put that in because I said I'd pre-ordered something. And yeah, I have got that much fabric now. I say it all the time, don't need any more. But then somebody will show me something and I'll be like, oh, and it's my birthday coming up. So I might just have to ask for some for that. You know, although my great staging in my greenhouse has actually snapped, so I might be asking for that too. But I just thought I'd pop that bit in too. So sorry about that, but enjoy the rest of the vlog. Other things that have been brought to my attention from the lovely Claire, who is the singing sewist, and Claro Bobbins. Well, she's not Claro Bobbins, that's another blogger. But they have both mentioned me in a something called Sewists Supporting Sewists, which I knew nothing about. And it's to, oh gosh, give a shout out to 5 channels with less than 2,000 subscribers. So they've both mentioned me in vlogs, and I will do a separate post. Otherwise this vlog is going to be really long because I've got my list, and I'd like to say a bit about each person that I am going to mention. So I will do that this weekend. And I've got my So Frugal vlog coming out tomorrow. So you're just going to have a plethora of vlogs. Having had silence from me for a couple of weeks, it's just going to be a plethora. And actually on my So Frugal vlog, I filmed that yesterday, which is why I didn't get this one done, because I thought I had to get this published. The So Frugal one was published for the Saturday, and I filmed it all, and I then realised I hadn't done any fabric. So I had to go back, film the bits with the fabric, and then edit those in. So yeah, it took much longer than I anticipated. And actually, if I'd have just left it at the end and said, I haven't shown you my fabrics, here's the fabrics I was going to use, that would have worked well, but never mind. I spent ages for editing instead. Anyway, that's enough from me. I will just put a bit of footage in from my greenhouse. I was incredibly worried about my greenhouse before I went away. So I did a film before, which I sent to my daughters, and then I've done a film after, and I didn't need to be worried at all. So enjoy that. Enjoy this weekend and the weather. Bank holiday here in the UK this coming Monday. I actually thought it was a week on Monday. So I've lost time through being away. But yeah, enjoy the sun sensibly, use sunscreen, and I will see you all very soon. Please do like, subscribe and comment, and I will respond. Take care for now. See you all soon. Bye. My glorious greenhouse is being left to the mercy of my children for 2 weeks. So let's see what's going to be surviving on my return. So I've got 1 sweet corn come up. Dahlias are looking fabulous. Those dahlias are not. 5 pumpkins have come up now. 3 courgettes. Tomatoes are all good. Aubergines there. Dahlias there. No lettuce yet, but the cosmos has started to sprout. So let's see what is remaining on my return. Okay, so we've just returned. Well, I say just. Earlier today we returned back from a holiday. I just thought I'd show you what's been going on in my greenhouse because I was so worried about it. Only 1 sweet corn has germinated. I don't know what's going on there. But look at everything. It's been an explosion of growth since I've been away. So I couldn't be more happier with my beautiful daughters for looking after it. Well, I say daughters, I think mainly one particularly, but not naming no names, Lily. But yeah, I'm really pleased. Obviously some things like my courgettes, which I was a bit worried about because I knew they'd all germinated, obviously need to be potted on. They're looking a bit sickly, but that's fine. I can deal with that. My sunflowers also need pricking out, planting out. pumpkins need to probably be hardened off and go out. Those 2 dahlias never did grow, but the other dahlias are looking pretty good, I say. I think I've got a begonia there. That's definitely not a dahlia, but that's okay. And then these dahlias are also doing really well, but outgrowing their pots rapidly, and probably that needs thinning out a little bit to bush it out. But other than that, all good.